All right, guys, we just got a market update today. Your real estate insight. I got Alex here, Rummy here with eXp Realty. We're just gonna go into what's happening in the marketplace. Alex, we got a lot of people that are asking us what is happening right now and what you're seeing locally, what I'm seeing locally. It's kind of crazy because I can't pinpoint it, right? You got the media telling us we're gonna go into recession with the real estate, or we're gonna go into a bubble, and you got clients on waiting for the market to come down, interest rate are the highest. I mean, what are you putting in your mindset? I mean, what do you think about what's happening right now? I mean, forget about you can't predict the future, but what are you seeing right now? What are you telling your clients and buyers and sellers, your agents who you're working with?
Like I always tell my clients, the reality is that we're going day by day with the market, right? I think we're all making prediction that it's going to crash because we haven't seen it since 2008, 2009. We haven't seen that crash. So I feel like everybody's so anxious for it to crash that's going to take longer than what we expect because of that anxious that everyone is just expecting, everyone is just waiting for it. And then I see that buyers sometimes are waiting for it to crash and the rates keep going higher. The higher the rates go, the more your payment is. But I think people are not really seeing the bigger picture. And the bigger picture is that if you're a first time buyer, you prefer to pay 100% rent of interest or just pay what is right now 6.25, 6, right? 8.8 they're paying right now. So I think we just got to sit down and look at the bigger picture, right? If the market crash, we're still going to be fine, right? Because it crashed before. And I think what happened to 2008 prepared a lot of people for the crash, right? But I think just that anxious of people waiting and wanting for it to crash, I think we should just be focusing where we're going day by day and looking at the bigger picture.
I mean, think about it, because people are thinking about crash. I mean, the crash happened for a reason, right? It didn't happen because we were going through a recession. It didn't happen because people were getting loans. And I'm going to talk about myself. Dude, I picked up 4 properties with a FHA and I flipped them, right? I mean, literally, banks were giving me loans just because I was alive, right? They shouldn't be doing that from a standpoint where why would I get even 2 loans at the same exact time? But that's what banks were doing, right? I flipped one and got another one, flipped one, got another one. The lending institution was kind of, the laws were like, hey, you could go ahead and do it in 3 months. So that's not happening right now. I know that in the lending institutions right now, it's like so freaking strict. Like even now when the job market, people are losing jobs, they're like, hey, we got to run your credit. We got to get a letter from your company saying you're still employed and you're going to be employed, right? So the crash, I think, is really what they're thinking is this is what's going to happen. The price is going to come low. But what I noticed yesterday, and I was quickly doing some kind of comparison for another property, I'm like, yo, we're only in a 30-day time period, which usually is, if you don't know what this means, right? Agents and clients and buyers and sellers, that means within the 4 to 5 months inventory, you're still in the seller's market. 5 to 6 months, you're in the neutral market. And I will explain that, and I know Alex will. And then 6 and above, you're in the buyer's market. When you're coming to the buyer's market, that's when you're going to see a price reduction. The government has to come up with programs. Or do you see that? Do you see the inventory coming down? Do you see an influx of inventory? Or do you see overbidding still?
Well, what I've seen is like, of course, you don't see that same pace, which was like 6, 8 months ago. Like you put a home up and within 15, 10 days, you already sold it, right? You obviously do see that people are, going based on what the media is saying, right? That the market, that we're going into a recession and all this. So you definitely see that it's slowing down, but the people that are seeing the bigger picture, you do see that there's something offered to buy homes. I still think that, it might be going down a little bit. You barely see the percentage going down, but people are still buying, right? And I think it's because I don't think it's going to crash the way they're expecting it. You know what I'm saying? And people are expecting it. That's what my beliefs are.
Yeah, I mean, listen, the market doesn't have an influx of foreclosures. People are expecting the foreclosures. Guess what? They already have a buffer for that. Banks are going to buy it before it hits the market. Billions and billions and billions of dollars already put away for that from Chase and SoftBank and all this other stuff, right? If you see the job market coming down, people were saying the first thing they were saying, hey, we're going to find something because there was something about you can make the payments after 2 years. Forbearance, right? Forbearance going to come back on. That didn't happen, right? Oh, there's a lot of foreclosures. Well, that's not happening, okay? And if they do come, guess what? There is a buffer for that. Now they're saying I spoke to a client, they're like, well, I'm waiting for the market to come down. Well, if it doesn't come down, then what? What are you going to do? Why is the reason that you're really buying? And if we get to the reason that they're really buying, really for maybe a bigger house, downsizing, upgrading, you know what? The interest rates are still strong. They're not at 8, 9, 10%. They're still at 5 to 6, right?
Mhm.
So again, I think people really have to dig into what's the reason that they're purchasing and what the reason that they're selling, and
Mhm.
get with an expert to do that. So, and when I'm actually looking at 4 different markets. And you tell me, because you're an expert right here in the Bronx right now, where I seen it was in Yorktown, 30 days. If you have a well-priced property that will stay on the market, 30 days. Think about that. 30 days. Are you still on the buyers? Or you think it's going to crash? No. There's enough pool of buyers that's going to purchase the property. And there was no inventory for me to compare on the active market. So what's happening in the Bronx right now?
Yeah, I always tell my wife, right, that for instance, my wife is a mortgage broker, right? I always tell her, if we qualify to buy another home, let's buy it. Because the thing is that the way that these banks are, the requirements of the banks, it's not like before. If you qualify, it means you qualify to purchase the property. They're not just giving loans out like before, especially after the experience that they experienced in 2008, 2009. So if you qualify, take advantage of it. These are opportunities. That's what I always tell my wife. I bought another property and I was like, babe, if I qualify tomorrow for another one, we have the down payment, let's go. Let's go for it. Because I look at the big, I just want to get so many properties as much as I can. And if the bank is qualifying, because I do qualify to purchase it, I'm more focusing on how.
I had a thought process,
like,
Alex. I mean, think about it. We just spoke about Chase Bank. We spoke about SoftBank,
Yeah.
and we got the Black Rocks. If you just look at them, ladies and gentlemen, if you're watching this, think about it for 1 second. If they're going to put aside billions and billions and billions of dollars, like, hey, we're going to go ahead and purchase single family houses, what are you waiting for? If they're not waiting for that, what are you waiting for?
I hate the big dogs.
Right? I mean, I just thought about it when you were telling me, like, I'm going to purchase something. I'm like, yeah, like, dude, they're going to go purchase. They're purchasing these properties, and they're not purchasing it in what we call the retail. They're purchasing it in the secondary market, right? They're purchasing it in, hey, we have X amount of Z people that are going to get foreclosed on or backed out, or they want to purchase. Actually, guess what? What market they're going into? Single family market. So if you could afford it, right, and mathematically you could do the numbers, and I know that if you contact an expert in your area, they could mathematically show you that it makes sense. It definitely makes sense. If you want to sell, it makes sense, because guess what? People tell me, hey, well, I'm gonna lose. You're not losing. This is what the market is bearing. We're not crashing. The market is saying, okay, there's an adjustment that was happening, 5 or 3%. Again, when you purchase something, it's the same exact thing. People are scared of the interest rate. Don't be scared of the interest rate, guys. You have to look at your scenario. You have to pay attention to what your dynamics of your family is and why you're purchasing. And we just did a consultation with someone, and I said, what's more costly to you, right? What's more costly to you? The experience that you and your family are going to have, or the couple of money that you're going to save? I mean, think about it. What's really costing you is that, hey, the experience. Because if my kids could run in the back and they could have their own bedroom and they could, enjoy the house that they're going to have, right? You just bought a house. I mean, it didn't stop you, right? Yeah. Isn't that what you're looking at as a buyer and a seller too as well?
Yeah, I mean, definitely, like, owning a property is so much benefits to it, especially that you just said the experience, the joy that you bring to your family, those experiences with your family. It's so much joy. And sometimes you gotta look at more of the experience and the joy that you're gonna bring to your family. And all those experiences and all those beautiful moments you're gonna have in that new home with your family. It's no price to it, in other words. Yep. And you don't have to be worrying about a landlord calling your lease is up, we gotta re-sign it, and it's going back up. Yep. So it's just paying all those years of rent. And then when you come to move, what are you getting out of it? Yep. But if you buy a property and 20 years pass by, you're holding into equity. And you're gonna walk away with this max amount of money. So it's more like you're investing into something first for your family, peace, love, right? And then second, your equity. But then you're gonna be able to even buy more properties, and and so on. But just looking at all
that, forced saving. It's definitely a forced saving. So, yeah. Guys, Alex and Rummy here. We're just gonna give you a real estate insight once a week, so kind of get you to knowing what's happening in the marketplace. Reach out to Alex for buying and selling. Reach out to our team. We're here to help you out, helping you guide you through the buying and selling process, so that way we could be a guide and get you to the real estate experience that you need. And we are expert in this industry. So go ahead and click below and make sure that you contact us. And if you have any questions, doesn't matter where you're at, we would love to sit down or just talk to you guys about, where the real estate. Watch out for the new episode, Real Estate Insight. Thank you.
Let's do it.
Hey guys, Alex and Rummy here again with your real estate insight. As you know, Alex is right here in New York. Reach out to us. We're going to talk about what's happening in the current marketplace on pending foreclosures. So Alex, look at this diagram. What are you seeing in the historical health level of the pending sale? Again, being granted that we're in February, we anticipated us to be in a position where, we knew that number of homes are coming on the market, or very less. It's about 10, 20%, about 10%, depending on which market. Again, we're going nationwide, but let's go locally where we're at. And on pending sale, it's going to be less too as well. So looking at this, right now we are probably in a historic low. Last one that you see is in January. What do you think about this diagram right here?
You definitely see the ups and downs. You see how it went down in 2000 and then it increased in 2001, 2002. It just went up tremendously. And then, so just like real estate, ups and downs, but I think it's more always ups than anything else.
Yeah. I mean, that's what the pandemic happened when that's when the whole life is going to fall apart and nothing's going to happen. And guess what? It spiked up again. And now what you see is a recession that's coming in. Historically, at 100% that we are low, guys. So understanding that the pending, but guess what? The people that are actually watching this and actually looking to purchase something, because the inventory is low, because the pending sales are low, they're going to go purchase. So don't sit on the sideline and just wait for things to happen. Here are the pending home sales across the nation right now. You can see, go ahead.
Honestly, I think what you just mentioned right now about the buyers, I think this is the best time to buy. They're becoming a buyer's market. I mean, buyers right now are requesting, the negotiating becomes more like on the buyer side right now. So it's like the best time to buy, because you could get the property at a lower price. And now the sellers are giving more credit, seller concessions, credits for the repairs. So this is like a buyer. It's definitely a buyer's market right now.
Yeah, it's a buyer's market, but then guess what? 100%. What I just noticed is that if I go to Yonkers, it's like we don't have enough inventory, but everything is leaving within 30 days or 45 days. So is it a buyer's market, or is it that we don't have enough buyers in the marketplace because they're waiting for March, April? That's normal time. Yeah. That if you're really looking, jump in right now. You have more choices, and the pending sales are down. Is it really the buyer's market? I mean, I'm going to challenge you on that. Do you think it's a buyer market, or do you see that the buyers have more options?
I think the buyers have, I would say it goes like 50-50, because you can't really say it's a seller's market or the buyer's market. I just think now the buyers, because you go 8 months back, buyers really couldn't request anything. And I do see now that buyers can request a seller concession. Buyers can request some type of credit. Before, when the market was like hot and about 8 months ago, sellers were like, it's as is. I don't really care what they have to say. This is what I want. And people started bidding like crazy. It just became something crazy. But now I do see that buyers, even at closing, they come, they want some type of credit, they want something. So it's like buying sellers, I would say. But, it depends where in New York, because, in Yonkers, the inventory is not so high, right? So it becomes a seller's market because the inventory is so low, right? So it all depends. And I think in the Bronx right now, it's kind of like a buyer's market more than anything, to be honest with me, in the Bronx. Especially like more in the Bronx.
Yeah, and again, pending home sales compared to, I was watching the New York City pending home sales and property coming on the market. Yes, there's adjustments to that. There's definitely adjustment, but it's not like it's crashing. It's not crashing. I don't think the doom days are coming anytime soon. I think the media is just putting this. But look at this, 37% U.S. overall. We're in the Northeast, 34%, right? Midwest and down South and on the West side, right? But let's talk about the distressed property. I mean, I know you probably know already. Think about this, right? In 12 to almost coming down to 2020, maybe it peaked up a little bit, and after that it has not come up a percentage at all. On the distressed properties that are coming on the market is less than 2%.
That's really low.
Less than 2%. I mean, I don't see short sale coming on the market. Even if it does come on the market, it's getting picked up with multiple offers. What do you think about this right now? What are you telling your buyers, or what do you want to tell the marketplace right now that it's not crashing? I mean,
it's not crashing. I think, like you said earlier, I think the government's they're prepared for what's going on, right? And they actually been very strong about the market in the past, 14, 15 years. They've been very strong about and controlling what's happening in the market. Just when the pandemic happened, everyone thought it was going to come to an end. And the market was going to come to an end. And they came up with the idea of bringing the rates down tremendously. And what it did was it boosted even more the market. You know what I'm saying? So I just feel like, and then they came up with that program, the forbearance, right? They just come in with so much ideas, and the ideas don't stop. And it's always for the benefit basically for the market, everything that they come up with. So I think the short term of foreclosure are not going to happen as people expect at all, because the government is preparing itself and are prepared for what's coming. And that's what I predict.
I mean, does all this big layoffs scare you right now? Should it scare everyone that's out there?
To be honest with you, I'm never scared of real estate. I love real estate.
Not you, but let's talk about the client.
What I would advise is don't be scared. Real estate is what it is. see what I'm saying? I don't see it, like I said earlier, I don't see it crash as people expect.
Well, let me be a client for yourself, right? I mean, listen, Alex, I think it's gonna crash. I don't want to buy a house and now it's 10,000 or 30,000 or 100,000. What people are predicting that's gonna be less than market value, right? So I don't want to buy a house and I'm stuck with $100,000 paying overpriced. So let me wait. What would you tell me?
I'll be honest with you, man. We're going day by day with the market. We really don't know what's gonna happen. But what if you keep holding off and then the market just starts shifting instead in a positive way? Or the rates go up even more. What are you going to say when the rates go up to 10, 12%? What's going to be a reaction? Like, why didn't I do it before? Because when the rates were like 3, 4, I hear all the time from clients saying, why I didn't buy when the rates were 3 or 4? Now look what is going on. So if you sit down and keep beating yourself like, no, let me just wait. Look always at the bigger picture. And I always say it to everyone. Just look at the bigger picture. The benefits of owning, the benefits of buying today, and just take advantage of what's going on. If you qualify, if the bank say you qualify, purchase. It's that simple. Because the bank say you didn't qualify, then you won't be able to purchase. This is an opportunity to use it.
Yeah, and if you did purchase something, guess what? Now people that purchased in 2007, 2008, they're coming back around like, let me go start selling. The market is where it's supposed to be, right? But guess what? Those people pay down the debt. People who have multifamily houses, they're getting rent that's coming in. They're paying down the principal, appreciation happening. There's always a benefit towards that. So again, we're gonna leave it off of that. What you just said, what if this happens, right? We don't know the what if. What do we know right now? Still a strong market, great interest rate. I do believe at 5 to 7. I mean, my dad was telling me when he bought his property, like 9 to 12%. That was crazy numbers back then, right? Do you want it to go there, right? Why are you really purchasing? Let us be your guide to help you buy and sell, guys. You'll find Alex's information below. Rummy here with your experts, your local experts, is showing you what's happening in the marketplace, and connect with us. We have no obligation, nothing at all. Just want to talk real estate. More than 40 years together combined in the business, and let us help you guide your family to the right directions. Have an amazing day, guys. Watch out for the next Real Estate Insight with Alex and Rummy. Take care.
Take care, guys.